welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious, and we are going over Backlash. It was in the Performance Center, and all in all, I gotta say, it wasn't a bad show. I definitely wouldn't say it was a stellar show. It was roughly somewhere in between. Like, I'd give it like a 7.5 if I was scoring it. Now, let's get into it. No big news or other stuff really to speak of, other than the fact that now, signs that things are improving wrestling-wise globally. New Japan did reopen and they are restarting up again. So that is a sign of good that more wrestling is becoming more available. So whoever up there, thank you. I will find something to make one of you happy. Now on to the show. First match, pre-show, Andrade against Apollo for the coveted United States Championship. And just as the match was about to go underway, two things popped into my mind. One, I saw Zelina Vega and automatically thought, Aleister Black, you modern day Billy Kidman son of a bitch bastard! And secondly, Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe on commentary together go really good together, like peanut butter and bananas. You know? And it was just, yes, Owens was ringside doing commentary. The witty banner was just great. And if we could just reverse back for a moment with Zelina, one, other than that moment, just, good God almighty, and how in the hell does she walk into shoes with heels that are like that thick? That stand up that high? I mean, just like, how? Yeah. Okay, so, Andrade, Apollo. Now, Angel Garza was ringside to give support. Now, it was a decent match. It was what it was. It was a pre-show match, but really, I do like on how Apollo has been stepping up his game since winning the title. You know, the guy is an amazing talent. There's no doubt about it. He got the win doing a sit-down powerbomb on Andrade. This came to be after... excuse me. Don't worry, it's not a Rona cough, so don't go freaking out. But how the match came to an end, Apollo went to did the shooting star press moonsault combo, and then just as he did that, Garza got up on the apron to distract the ref. Just as he did that, next thing you know, Owens came, popped out of the chair, pulled Garza down, popped him, kicked him in the gut, boom, popped him in the stunner, and you got quick enough eyes to see, you could see right after Owens like, ooh, which, you know, if you listen to Stone Cold's podcast back when it first started, he told the story on how he hit Ahmed Johnson with a stunner on the concrete one time, and he said, after he did that, Stone Cold's words, after I did that, I thought to myself, God damn, I am never doing that shit again unless it's in the ring. And if you look, Steve never really did do the stunner unless it was on the ring or on a matted surface. Yeah. So, after that stunner, Andrade, he gets up, he's like, what's going on, what's going on? He turns around, Cruz gets him, powerbomb, boom. Sit down powerbomb, 1, 2, 3, that's it. Now, following night on Raw, Garza goes against Owens. Owens gets the win, but there's bickering back and forth between Andrade and Garza again, and Zelina. Oh, good Lord almighty, Zelina. Again, I say this, ever since the lockdown shit happened, Zelina Vega has become the WWE MVP. Because you look back, since this has happened, she has been pretty much on every episode of Raw from the time the lockdown has pretty much started. I mean, what's that tell you? You know? So, either way, she's in there, she pulls them two apart saying, you two need to stop fighting each other and need to focus on what's important and working with each other. So she basically stepped in like I said last week, like the angry mom saying, stop it, I don't want to hear it from you two. You both sit over there in different corners. I don't want to hear a word from either of you. You talk when I tell you you can. And yeah, so now we go to the first match of the night. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, oh good Lord Almighty. The IIconics. And then Sasha and Bayley. First match of the night and I'm already having to reach for the damn heart pills. Oh, good God. Yeah. First match of the night, reaching for the damn heart pills. Now, this was a triple threat match. Triple threat tag match. What was different on this one compared to most triple threat tag matches, they actually had all three teams in there at the same time. Which really was weird to me because I'm just like, what? But I'm not gonna lie, it was good. Anytime they do a triple threat tag, I keep thinking, you know, it'd be nice if they let all three in. It'd be nice if they let all three in. Now that I'm seeing all three, and I'm like, ooh, I like this. And it was good. It was good. It was cool to see, you know. A lot of action all around, you know. There was good, solid action all around. I can't really say, you know, one team led the pace more than the other or the other and this, that, and the other. It was good. It was all circular, you know, which, considering it's three teams and it's a triangle, well, it's wrestling. Anything can happen in it. Match came to an end. I love on how calm I am when I try and think of random shit. Match came to an end finally with Sasha and Bayley getting the win. Sasha did a roll-up on Bliss after she did the Twisted Bliss. After she went to go and do the Twisted Bliss, you know, there was so yeah, got the 1, 2, 3. Now, Wednesday night on NXT, they're going to be defending the titles against Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan. Oh, a girl that beautiful that loves dogs and video games should be a crime. Whew. And then next week, the titles are going to be defended against the IIconics, which I can't complain because I've been, you know, as much as people out there put on the Twitter shit saying they want to see the titles more, now we're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting the teams on the shows. We're getting the teams on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. They're being used. They're being consistent. And you notice all those trolls that keep on saying that shit, shut their mouths. I said shut it. Shut it? Good. Now, next match of the night was Jeff Hardy against Sheamus, and Jimmy right off the bat was straight up clubbing and powering over Jeff for the most part of the match. It was for basically like one of those, for every 10 moves Sheamus pulled out, Jeff was able to hit 3 or 4 kind. Which, okay, it was the redemption. It's the building for a redemption story, you know. Jeff is coming back, fighting his demons, this, that, and the other. That's great. Because, you know, you see that a lot in Hollywood, too. And best examples I can think of. Ben Affleck recently admitting, yeah, he was struggling with alcoholism after filming the Batman movies and the DC movies. And I could be wrong, I'm not 100% certain, and if I am, feel free to say something down below. But, Demi Lovato wound up saying she was having addiction issues as well, but she's back doing her thing with music. She was doing acting, and last thing I think I saw her in was the show From Dusk Till Dawn, but I know she's been doing other shit as well. You know, but those are examples. You know, and wrestling is performance theater. That's all it is, plain and simple. So people want to get mad saying, oh, they're having Jeff do a addiction story with that. Okay. Jeff's got more than enough say and pull to be able to go and be like, not so sure on this. We all know that. Also, Jeff's a solid worker. He's gonna go and do this. He had no issue doing this shit before. Nobody gave a shit before when he was doing this shit with CM Punk. Nobody gave a shit and said nothing about this when Samoa Joe was calling him out on it a few years ago. Case in point. Best example on that, the last line Joe ever said to Jeff on this. Jeff, when it was Jeff, Joe, and a handful of other guys all trying to argue over who would get a title shot at the world title, Joe just went straight up to Jeff's face. Why don't you do like that? Why don't you just pretend this is an AA meeting, sit in the back, shut up, and let the real people talk? Nobody batted an eye towards Joe over that. But people want to bat an eye, people want to get mad over it on Sheamus just because, well, they don't like him. Yeah, no. Fuck you. Fuck you. This was a decent match. I dug the shit out of it. Now, Sheamus got the win, which was surprising. He got the win. It was a bro kick, and I was shocked because everything was building up for Jeff to get the win because it was the redemption story factor, the redemption story angle. And then just out of nowhere it was, wait, Jimmy got the win? Jimmy! Good on you! So yeah, next up we got Nia Jax versus Asuka. Nia powering on Asuka early on. It was a good shot for shot kind of match. It ended in a real shitty way, a double count out. Nobody's ever a fan of a double count out. They were fighting on the outside, it ended in a double count out. Asuka was still champion. They had a rematch on Raw. It ended with, it was a quick match, because it was the second to closing match of the night. It was a quick match. It ended with Nia trying to go for a pin. Asuka kicked out. Nia went and shoved the ref, John Cone. Next he was like, you don't get to do that. No. That's crossing the line. You don't get to put your hands on me. I'm an official. And just as he's about to go and signal to the timekeeper to throw the match out, Asuka does a roll-up, goes over. Quick count. 1, 2, 3. Quick count, rings the bell. So we're going to get more out of this as you go. It's a given. Next up we got, hey, ho, ho, Miz and Morrison against Strowmen for the title. And like I said before, when it comes to handicap matches, I'm not really a big fan of it because unless the tag team wins, it just makes the tag team look stupid. It makes them look like shit because... well, you're telling me these two guys couldn't beat up that guy? And, I'm not talking two dudes that were built like Pee Wee Herman. No. These are two pretty, you got two dudes that work out on a regular basis. So, yeah. Now, Miz and Morrison, up until the night of the pay-per-view, it was if they won, they'd be co-champion. Then the stipulation was announced that night on the show that whoever gets the winning pinfall would be champion. So then we got that to play. Let's put a pin on that and we'll get back to it in a minute. Miz and Morrison will try really hard at the start to try and get a 2-on-1 advantage over Strowman. Not necessarily the easiest feat. It was like trying to climb uphill with crutches in the middle of January. But, yeah. They were eventually able to. And Miz, he did a tag into Morrison. Did a spiked skull crushing finale where they did where Morrison did a springboard with his foot on the back of Strowman's head to boom, impale him, slam him down. And then just as Johnny Nitro Morrison Mundo Impact Esquire the 23rd, please give him a shorter name, went to go for the pin. 1, 2. Miz pulled him off, and then Johnny was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And Miz is like, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking." And then threw him back on. 1, 2. Strowman kicked out. Next thing you know, he was like from the video game Rise from the Grave, and he came back, beat the shit out of him. Strowman got the win doing a running power slam on Morrison. Came really close to damn near the end of the show before I botched, so that's a new personal best. Next up, we got Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. This I really dug the shit out of because right at the start, Lashley popped in that full Nelson before the bell even rang and McIntyre could get his coat off. Really good, dug the shit out of it. Love the aggression that was in this match. You know, these two got good chemistry, and I've been talking about the TNA shit since this started, and that's really the best basis where I could say, yeah, you want to see on how good their chemistry is? Go on that shit. Because really, that's where, and it is good shit. And really dug it. Lashley, he was assaulting early on. Drew started to pick up the lead after the initial frontal assault. The match eventually came to an end where at one point where just as it looked like Bobby was getting ready to get near, or not Bobby, I'm sorry, just as Drew was gearing up, you know, trying to get a comeback in, Lana came storming down, started arguing and yelling at the ref because Drew kicked out of a spear, and then next thing you know, Lashley, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Just go! Turns around, boom, Glasgow kiss, gets the headbutt, like, ooh, almost hits Lana, turns around, boom, Claymore, falls, bounces off the rope, hits Lana, Lana falls onto MVP. Next thing you know, 1, 2, 3, they get a pin. Lashley and Lana call Lana out, or Lashley and MVP call Lana out on that shit. MVP winds up calling her a thou, and on TV, which I swear that's permanently burnt into the brain for forever now. And then Lashley says, "I want a divorce," so this love angle thing is finally done and over with. With, sadly, no real big payoff. But we're eventually going to get another shot with McIntyre and Lashley, and we know that because Monday night they had a tag match. Lashley and MVP had a tag match against McIntyre and Truth. Truth wound up eventually doing something. Truth was being Truth and wound up making the match for Drew's WWE title. They got the win. Truth got the win by doing a splash onto MVP after Drew hit him with a Claymore. So we know this isn't over. Now we come to, well, before we get to the last match, we had a cinematic battle, which, honest to God, I really have no arguments on. I got no problem with doing these cinematic scenes. The cinematic fight scenes in this, you know, and here is why. While we're in lockdown, this is, again, it goes back to the old saying, like Paul Heyman once said, when there is chaos, there is opportunity. Now, the chaos being, we're in lockdown, not really going to be able to do as much of the normal shit that we can on TV or pay-per-view. So the opportunity, find a way to get around it. Vince has said before in that old documentary, Beyond the Mat, we make movies. So, fuck it, why not make a movie starring our wrestlers, involving our actual wrestling shit? Vikings and Profits, they started fighting out in the parking lot, smashed Braun Strowman's windshield. They eventually go inside. They're fighting with golf clubs, axes, and bowling balls. I wish I could make that up, but no. And then it eventually wound up turning into a fight where out in the front of the building with ninjas, because why not, led by Akira Tozawa, and then the Profits and Raiders teamed up to destroy them. And then we got this big giant 7-foot ninja who looked like he ate a much smaller ninja. And Eric's like, I could take him. No, you can't. No, we're going. And then they all fight on top of a truck and then get thrown into a garbage pile. And then the lady ref, Jess, winds up like, guys, what the hell are you doing? Your match is supposed to be next. And then apparently the traditional thing that's been going with all this is, Ivar, you're cute. You? Not so much. Which, hey, you know, considering Eric is, you know, a married man to Sarah Logan, I'm pretty sure he's like, pretty sure he's probably thinking, yeah, I don't need them to think I'm pretty. I already got a wife at home. So yeah, that's finally going to cultivate and climax, if you will, in next week with a tag title match. So now we come to main event of the night, Randy Orton Edge in the quote-unquote greatest wrestling match ever. And we all know Dave Meltzers, Wade Kellers, Brian Alvarez's, Ryan Staines of the world aren't going to say it is, because of the simple fact that it was not main evented in the Tokyo Dome. Because, you know, it didn't have 10,000 flips and dives in there. Yeah. But it started out, had a very old school classic feel. Charles Robinson pulling out the old WCW ref attire. You know, had the old MSG mic drop down. Had a recording of the Fink, which, God bless, love that. You know. And it worked. It had a very old school start to it. You know, it was, in a way, it was almost kind of like a very scientific match, you know, which I absolutely dug the shit out of. It was like seeing that Drew Gulak, Daniel Bryan match, you know. It was just, wow. It was old school. It was so different from what we see regularly that it would, because it was the old school shit, and it was just like, well, goddamn, this is good. Now, Randy got busted open. It was a small cut on the eye, but it clotted up and closed pretty quickly. You know? And really liked on how Randy was dictating the pace on it. And in a lot of ways. Now, there were a lot of near falls in it at one point, they were throwing almost every finisher that they could at each other to try and end it. Rock bottoms, pedigrees, trying to go for sharpshooters, this, that, and the other. And yeah. Now, the match came to an end when Edge, he went for that choke he's been doing. They started calling it the anti-venom. But as he added in, Randy, boom, knee to the balls. And then punt. He backed up and he did the punt. He hasn't done that in years. Last time he did, best I can recollect, the last time he did that, I think he was feuding with Big Show, and it was in an Extreme Rules pay-per-view where it was for the World Heavyweight title, the big gold belt. That shows on how far back we're going last time he did that move. It was either, but yeah. After that, he got the 1, 2, 3. Next thing you know, following that match, they announced Edge tore a tricep. Tricep was torn clear off the meat, clean off the bone. So he's got to get surgery. Unfortunately, that's going to have to kind of put an end to that feud for a short while. But on Monday night, it crescendoed with Randy coming out at the start of the show, highlighting and gloating over on how he won. He's the better man. He's the best in the business and all that jazz. Christian came out to back up his buddy. And then Edge was like, or not Edge, Randy was like, I know what you want. You want just one more match. And it was just as Christian was about to answer, no, hold it. I know you can't because you're not medically cleared, but I got a loophole around that. Make this an unsanctioned match. You get your chance to get payback for your friend at me tonight. But just so you know, this offer expires tonight by the end of the night. So they got down to the end of the night. We're chomping at the bit, biting nails, up until like halfway through the show before Christian says yes, he is going to. And then, so yeah, Christian, we get that. Christian's first match in years, and people are like, including me, just as they're in the ring, you know, about to start, woo! Nature Boy comes out, it's like, goes over to Christian. Now, listen, Bud, listen. I just talked to Edge. You don't have to do this, man. Just walk away. Let it go. Christian, nope. I gotta do this. Move. Ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Next thing you know, Rick, boom! Low blows Christian, and then just leaves. And then Randy, again, punt, and then just lazily lays on him. 1, 2, 3. And as the paramedics are putting the braces on him and trying to get him loaded onto the stretcher, he leans over to him again, just like he did with Edge. I'm sorry I had to do this. I didn't want to have to do this to you, but you made me. You made me do this. And this is Randy Orton. Yes, he is a natural asshole and a natural heel, but my God, he is so good at being sadistic, and like just that sadistic kind of psycho is the best I could describe it, and he pulls it off so amazingly good. So that is it for this week's show, folks. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious, also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you don't look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you found me on there from here. On the Twitter at Tim Vicious, some things I keep on going. Excuse me. Also, make sure y'all check out these cats right here on the Twitter. Awesome Melody, Kenny Killer, DSP_IV, Diabolica RA, and unfortunately, Sergeant Curry Pants. She has been put in Twitter jail, so hopefully she is released soon. And folks, like I always tell you, well, before I give those final words, big thanks to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. A little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben. Hit him up. His music's out there on iTunes, Spotify, and such details are down below. He provided the music for this week's show. And folks, like I always say, y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.